Kimako nangwao, bana bangwao, ripila kangwao nangwao, bana bangwao.
Responsibility with Calvin. Today we are looking at the issues to do with environment vis-a-vis climate change and climate justice. As we know that it's only 3 days to go to CoP 26 in Glasgow in Scotland, where countries world over they will be sitting to deliberate on issues to do with climate change, which has affected many people, especially the third world countries which are underdeveloped. And today we are honored in our program to have a special guest, Tinashe Muchuri, an award-winning journalist in Zimbabwe. We welcome you in our studio today with our guest. It's a very special guest, Mr. Tinashe Muchuri. He's an award-winning journalist, an author, an artist, and also a cultural expert, especially in terms of advocating for indigenous languages. Mr. Muchuri, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
We are 3 days away from CoP 26 summit in Scotland. We are talking about climate change. What are your expectations from this summit?
My expectations are that we need to look in a deeper way on how best we can mitigate the challenges of climate change. Because if you look at our country, some people think it's far away from those effects of climate change. But when you look at our seasons, the seasons are changing. The seasons that we used to have are no longer the same seasons, and they are being affected by the changes in the climatical sphere. So now, because of that, I am expecting that at COP26 they look at how best third world countries and the world can stop the effects or the issues or the inputs that are causing this climate change. That area is what I want them to look more into, and how best can we affect the effects.
Okay, you bring me to my next question about the effects of climate change in third world countries. How has been the effect in Zimbabwe? We're talking about the change of season, but basically, how has been these effects affecting Zimbabwe?
You know, when you look at Zimbabwe, we have got a lot of other effects that are coming. At the moment, we are failing to actually understand what happened during cyber what really happened. No one knows. We are expecting, some people are talking, saying something, yeah, you know, some say the rocks were brought from the sea, some they say it was a volcano, some, you know, because we don't understand how these climatical changes happen. Now, because of that, we need to really see how best we can understand where is the literature, what is climate change, how does it affect our lives, how does it affect our health. We have got the COVID now, it has come into our country. Some people say it's an import from the east, but even though we are saying it's an import from the east, what is it happening? How is it happening in our country? How is it affecting our health? How is it affecting our lives, our economy, and everything that is ourselves? So these are things that we need to look at third world countries, and some countries that are far away from the areas where you feel they are the most actors in terms of affecting the climate.
So there's more to be done in terms of education, in terms of advocacy, in the issues of climate justice.
Yes.
So in terms of environmental protection measures, what do you think can be done to protect our environment so that we mitigate climate change?
You see, when that is a good question. When you look at Zimbabwe, and let us narrow it to the capital, Harare. Harare is built on top of a wetland. The whole of Harare is a wetland, which means we have affected our source of water. We have affected our source of water purification. We have affected a lot of ecosystem, and because of that, there are certain portions that have been protected, where we say these are wetlands. This portion is a wetland. We need to protect it. Since we need to protect those areas, there are other people who are now coming and destroying the same protected areas, and this will result at the end of the century, or maybe in the few years to come. If you look at how many tanks or Jojo tanks that you see, plastic tanks that are around the city or in the locations where people, residential areas where people live, you will see that there are many. And if you go there, some don't, because they lack enough income for them to purchase the tanks. They are digging wells. And this is telling you how the effects of destroying wetlands is to our lives. And because of that, we need a political will. That those political actors should tell their members not to destroy wetlands, because wetlands is life for everyone. Wetlands is the future.
Mr. Muchuri, you are an award-winning journalist. And if you see, you have been doing a lot in terms of advocating for the protection of environment and climate change through your social media pages. But how can you best tell us, how can you fit the issue of culture and arts in terms of that advocacy? Also, as an artist, how do you fuse the issues of culture and arts in terms of the advocacy of climate change?
Artists, they have a role to create awareness about climate change, to create awareness about the human contribution to climate change. Because if you look at most of the effects that are happening to the climate, you will discover that there is a human hand in it. So the artists are there as a voice to advocate about ways to lessen the effects or the things that causes climate change. So this is the role of the artist. This is the role of art. Through your poetry, through film, through theater, through many forms of art, even sculpture. I've seen sculptures, sculptors creating work from found objects that they have picked from the rubbish pits, that creating awareness to the society, so that the society is aware that the things that they throw away can be recycled to make meaningful contribution to lessen all the issues that affects the climate. So this is the role of the art. This is the role of the artist. This is the role of culture. And even, I've seen artists planting trees to create awareness to the society, so that the society know that trees are very important in averting the effects of climate change. So art and culture has a role to play in the awareness and advocacy.
Thank you, Mr. Muchuri, for taking your time to be with us in this program, Environment, Our Responsibility with Calvin. Thank you for being with us in our today's program. We had Mr. Tinashe Muchuri, an award-winning journalist in Zimbabwe, who has been relating to us how he is working and advocating for the protection of environment, which will also consequently protect the things which has to do with climate change impact in our communities. And today we have witnessed and we have heard how things done by our communities affecting our daily issues to do with environment. Subscribe, like our YouTube channel, Environment, Our Responsibility with Calvin, and remember to also follow our Facebook page and our Twitter handle. Thank you, it's goodbye for now. Till we meet again, God bless you.
Bana bangwa